I'm going to make this very short and very quick. Okay, I'm doing this because there is an idiot who decided to reply to me on Twitter, and I actually had to do a second take of this because the first take I swore too much. There's an idiot on Twitter, not the guy who originally replied to me and said that Bray Wyatt is fine. That was his point. He said that the only losses he had last year were to Undertaker and John Cena, and that he was fine. There was a guy that replied to him afterwards, after I made a comment that in his, as I say, the point was that the guy said he won most of his feuds. And I said, well, look at the Dean Ambrose feud, you know? I mean, 2 of those wins don't look good at all. The guy after me said, to get my facts straight, he's 4-1 against Dean Ambrose. To which I replied back, 2 of those matches are absolutely pointless. 2 of them are. And you're counting a Christmas match that he had. Nobody cares about the Christmas match. Nobody does. Nobody remembers it. It's completely wiped from my memory. I forgot that he even had a Christmas match. I look at that feud and I see 3 matches. We're counting the Christmas match. Seriously, does anybody remember that? No? Good. I go back afterwards and I say, and here's the point that I'm going to make. As a matter of fact, I don't even need to say it this week because it's going to be my point anyway. If you think that Bray Wyatt is fine right now, you are absolutely wrong. Bray Wyatt is not fine in the least. Sure, yes, you can go ahead and say, well, he won his matches at TLC and at, what was the one before that? Night of Champions or Battleground? I can't even remember now. It was a Survivor Series, it may have been. You could say he won those 2 pay-per-view matches, fine. But look at those 2 matches. Bray Wyatt looked weak in all those matches. All of them. Bray won by DQ. This new face of fear, this monster, lost by DQ because Dean Ambrose was kicking too much ass. Bray won via DQ. And then not only that, after that match was over, Dean Ambrose went and destroyed the guy. Beat him with chairs. Piled chairs on top of him, piled tables on top of him, and then went and put a ladder over him. Tell me, why am I supposed to be afraid of this guy? So then we go into the TLC match, right? And they have the TLC match, where Bray Wyatt only wins because Dean Ambrose is apparently an idiot and didn't think I should probably unplug this TV before I go to attack him. Dean Ambrose lost to a television. And that's how Bray picked up a victory. You're going to tell me this guy is fine? He's not believable. He can't win normal. He can't. At least not in big matches he can't. That feud against Dean Ambrose did him no favors. Didn't do Dean any favors either because Dean couldn't win. As a matter of fact, that feud was bad for both guys. Because not only because Dean Ambrose desperately needed a win, and couldn't win, even though he was kicking ass most of the time. And then Bray Wyatt, when he did win, looked weak. So nobody got over. Nobody got over in that feud at all. And then you lead up into the Undertaker feud, where all he does is he goes backstage and cut these ominous promos constantly, back and forth. And if you look at that crowd after WrestleMania, the crowd that should adore Bray, the crowd that loves Bray Wyatt, was chanting what in the middle of his promos? It's not a good sign. This guy gets no reaction at normal shows. On the normal Raws and SmackDowns, this guy gets next to no reaction. Or very little reaction. He's not getting heat anymore. He's just saying things and nothing happens. Go look at his match where he beat Dolph Ziggler, for instance, okay? He goes after the match, and this is him leading into Undertaker, where he's saying he's the new face of fear, right? And we haven't seen this guy wrestle a bit. He beats Dolph Ziggler clean, I believe. He goes and he takes Dolph, and he starts to lift up the mat as if he's going to Sister Abigail Dolph onto the mat, which would do great things leading up into the feud, because then it makes you think, wow, he might actually go in and try to destroy Undertaker. And the refs come out and stop him and go, no, don't do that. And what does Bray do? He stops. He doesn't do anything. He just goes to the back. Why am I supposed to be afraid of this guy? And a match against Undertaker, where the streak isn't on the line. And Undertaker's not going to be coming back anytime soon. Undertaker showed up for this match, didn't even show up on Raw to go and try to promote this feud. He showed up at WrestleMania only. Bray doesn't win. As a matter of fact, Bray didn't do much of anything in that match. There's nothing scary about Bray anymore. Nothing. He doesn't have the family. The rest of his family, who he quote unquote saved and healed, are a bunch of idiots. Luke Harper's rolling around doing nothing and losing all the time. Eric Rowan's going around and doing nothing and losing all the time. They are absolutely lost without Bray. And Bray now is pretty much just kind of, all he's doing is cutting backstage promos. That's it. He's not doing anything scary at all. So what if he comes out to the ring and there's a bunch of cell phones in the air? Who gives a shit? How could I possibly care when this guy wants to say that he's the new face of fear and doesn't do anything scary? The spider walk isn't scary. Him hanging upside down isn't scary. Does he look scary? Yeah, but I'm not afraid of him anymore. There's nothing to be afraid of because they don't do anything. You want to know when the Wyatt family was the hottest? When they were sitting there and doing the guillotine spot with Kane and dragged his ass backstage. When they made Daniel Bryan submit to him and dragged his, and Sister Abigail'd him and then dragged his ass backstage. It was working then. Now it's not. Because he's not doing anything. That family being split apart was a terrible decision and it's not working for any of the three guys. Not working for Rowan. Not that, anybody was crying for Eric Rowan to really get over. It's not working for Harper, who's just kind of, like, I don't even know what. It's crazy to think that Luke Harper is actually a one-time Intercontinental Champion. Boy, that reign is completely forgettable. But yeah, I'm sorry. That guy is an absolute moron. Bray Wyatt is not okay. Not the guy who said that Bray Wyatt is okay. The guy who was like, 4-1, and now you have to make your point by saying the Christmas match doesn't matter. It didn't. First of all, the Christmas match doesn't matter. No one remembers it. And then the other, and out of two of the other three victories that you're talking about, Bray Wyatt didn't win on his own accord, or didn't win pretty much, by him doing anything. It was Dean losing to a television and his own stupidity, and then Dean losing via DQ. So again, tell me how Bray looks good right now. Tell me how Bray is okay. Because Bray's not okay right now.